So, I don't know if any of you people are familiar with the Integrity Commission. It's a body. It's meant to be independent. I'm not really sure how independent it is, but it's a body concerned with upholding integrity within government apparatus, I suppose, and that includes Tasmania Police, the public service, and so on. So, I've made a number of complaints, and one of those complaints, actually there was more than one against this individual, but I made a complaint against someone whose name is Paul Turner, and Paul Turner is a police officer with Tasmania Police. I think his rank is Detective Sergeant, and he prosecuted me unsuccessfully, and I made the allegation that Paul Turner lied in court. So what was that allegation based on? Let's just have a listen to a recording that was made in an open session of court. I didn't record it, it's the actual court recording. I've obtained this copy legally by paying for it, so let's have a listen.
In relation to the costs, I do concede that Mr Lane was charged $30 to obtain a record of the transcript for that particular day. As related to his software editing, there's no proof of purchase before the court. The editing was very basic, to say the least, and it was simply a PowerPoint presentation. And as to his calls and stationery, those costs would be minimal, if any, Your Honour.
So, you would have heard there that Paul Turner claimed that I'd used a PowerPoint presentation. This is a very interesting claim because it's possible to go into the records of the whole series of sessions of court and actually, because the court takes everything that's submitted, okay, so it can be pulled out later on if necessary. And you'd find, if you went in and looked at that material, all the evidence that I submitted, all the submissions that I made, you'd find that there actually weren't any PowerPoint presentations. Not one. Isn't that interesting? So, if a police officer says to the magistrate, did I present it or submit it or used a PowerPoint presentation, to try and downplay my claim of costs or my effort, my expenditure. And then it turns out that I never did use PowerPoint for this case. I mean, that would have to be, I don't know, is that illegal? Is it illegal for a police officer to lie in court? I don't know what the exact law is about that. He wasn't under oath because he wasn't a witness. But I would have thought a police officer lying in court is a pretty serious problem. And did Paul Turner succeed? Yes, he did, because police didn't have to pay costs. So, in this particular I could say a lot of things about Paul Turner, and I've made other claims against Paul Turner. But this one's very easy to prove because you've only got to go to the court record to prove that I didn't use PowerPoint when he's claiming that I did. PowerPoint's a fairly generic program that most people have access to. That's not what I used. So I don't know what's up. I mean, this has been reported to the Integrity Commission, and here's the stupid thing: they didn't seem all that bothered by it. And I spoke to Richard Bingham, whose role I believe, or whose position is the CEO of the Integrity Commission, about this. and he couldn't stop laughing at me down the phone. It was odd. I mean, he wasn't like an unpleasant person to speak to, although I found that when people are reasonable to speak to, they're often the ones who are the least useful. But he kept laughing at my concerns about how they'd handled my complaints. And the poor Turner complaint about lying in court was, because it was so easily provable, I was just wondering what their argument was, for not finding against poor Turner. And that's when Richard Bingham told me that the magistrate made a finding or a ruling that poor Turner had not lied. And this surprised me because the magistrate never said any such thing. I brought this up in court in real time after poor Turner had made those comments. And I said to Richard Bingham, have you listened to the court recording? And he said no. So Richard Bingham, CEO of the Integrity Commission, doesn't have any defence for poor Turner against my allegation. So he just has to make things up out of thin air. I mean, what kind of integrity commission is that? I mean, it's not. I mean, do we need an integrity commission for the integrity commission? Why would Richard Bingham be making up stories to defend someone from Tasmania Police that I've accused of lying in court? That's something they should take pretty seriously. I mean, he could have gone to the court and asked for a copy of the recording. Anyway, I don't really know what to do about, getting justice against poor Turner. I did go to... there are two other people or bodies you can go to. One of those is a Major General in the ADF, and the other one is an ex-cop. Okay, so good luck, right? We've already been to one of those two. We went to the Major General in the ADF, whose name is Greg Mellick, and the Integrity Commission wouldn't give me Greg Mellick's phone number. Mellick is a Liberal Party appointed, I think he's called the Commissioner, Integrity Commissioner. I'm not exactly sure what the title is. It's a weird kind of part-time role. I'm guessing he doesn't get a lot of work. So they wouldn't give me Mellick's phone number. So, I just did my thing and got it anyway elsewhere. And so, because I had put in a complaint to Greg Mellick in writing via the Integrity Commission, and there was just no reply. Weeks went by. So I'm calling just to chase it up. And what does Greg Mellick do? He just starts admonishing me for calling his mobile phone. And I'm like, well, okay, what's your office number? And he doesn't have one. I don't even think he has an office for his work as the commissioner. So, and then he hangs up. He did let me know that a response would be coming, but to be hung up on like that, you kind of know it's going to be a negative response at that point, and it was a negative response from him. So there's one other body I can go to, but I just, I don't know that it matters who you go to, right? I mean, the police can pretty much do what they want and get away with it. The people in authority, these bodies, they just all look after each other. I still haven't heard back from the fucking ombudsman. It's been, must be very close to 2 years, if not 2 years. So that's it.